The story follows Jeremy Zai Mathai, a young man whose TikTok video accusing his late grandfather of being the never-caught Zodiac Killer went mega viral. Instead of treating it as mere true crime speculation, the film leans heavily into supernatural horror. Jeremy's investigation awakens something dark in his family line. What begins as obsessive research gradually morphs into outright haunting as the grandfather's restless spirit begins to manifest, proud that his grandson has finally found him. Jeremy discovers compelling, though circumstantial evidence linking his grandfather Richard Hoffman, a former cop with a dark temperament, to the Zodiac murders, matching handwriting, deliberate spelling errors, physical resemblance to the composite sketches, Nenad hidden ciphers, and cryptic letters. But the deeper he digs, the more the past bleeds into the present. Rooms grow colder, whispers echo, shadows move on their own, and eventually the ghost of Richard Hoffman appears, not angry, but almost proud, telling Jeremy, "You freed me, and now you must carry the stars."
December 1968. A California highway patrolman clocks off duty, kisses his wife goodnight, and drives into the night wearing a black hood with a white circled crosshair stitched on the chest. He will murder at least 5 people. He will taunt the police with letters signed only with that symbol. He will never be caught. Or so everyone thought. 56 years later, a 28-year-old TikTok creator named Jeremy Hayes uploads a 30-second clip that stops 10 million hearts in one night. The caption is simple. "My grandfather was the Zodiac Killer. Here's the proof." The internet explodes. The police reopen cold files. And something that has been sleeping in the walls of an old house in Vallejo, California, wakes up. My name is Jeremy Hayes. This is the full story they won't let me post on TikTok anymore. Question for you before we start. If you found out the monster everyone's been hunting for half a century was your own blood, would you expose him to the world? Or would you burn every photograph and pretend you never saw the truth? Keep that question in your head, because by the time this is over, I still don't know the right answer. Let's begin.
I hit post at 11:47 p.m. on a Thursday in June 2024. The video is shaky phone footage of me sitting on my childhood bed, surrounded by yellowed letters, a 1969 Vallejo Times-Herald front page screaming, "Zodiac claims 3 more," and a black and white photograph of my grandfather, Richard Edward Hoffman, in full highway patrol uniform, 1968. I'm pale, eyes bloodshot from no sleep, voice cracking. "Look at the composite sketch from Lake Berryessa," I say, holding up the famous wanted poster next to Grandpa's driver's license photo. Same widow's peak, same heavy brow, same little scar on the upper lip you could only see in certain light, and the handwriting. Watch this. I overlay one of Grandpa's old birthday cards to me. "Happy 10th birthday, Jeremy. Be good or be careful," over the Zodiac's dripping ink taunts. The slant, the deliberate misspellings, the little curl on the capital G. Identical. 30 seconds. That's all it took. By morning, the video has 400,000 views. By noon, 4 million. By the time I wake up at 3 p.m., my phone is dead from notifications, and there are 3 news vans parked outside Mom's house. I never expected it to blow up like this. I just wanted someone, anyone, to believe me. Because I've known since I was 10 years old. Grandpa Richard's house always smelled like gun oil and Old Spice and something metallic I could never name. Everyone said he was a hero. Retired CHP officer, Korean War vet, gave safety talks at my elementary school. Voice like gravel, eyes that pinned you in place. But at home he was quiet,
Scary quiet. When he looked at you too long, it felt like he was measuring how much noise you'd make if you disappeared. One night in August 2007, Mom and Grandma were at bingo. I was supposed to be asleep on the couch. Instead, I crept upstairs to the forbidden study, the one with the padlock Grandpa always said was for police memories. The lock was already open. Weird. Inside, moonlight sliced through dusty blinds. There was an old army trunk under the desk. The lid creaked like a coffin when I lifted it. Inside, manila folders labeled with dates: 12/20/68, 7/4/69, 9/27/69, 10/11/69. The exact dates of the confirmed Zodiac attacks. My stomach flipped. On top lay a stack of letters in plastic sleeves, handwritten, dripping red ink in places. At the bottom of each page, the circled crosshairs symbol. I was 10. I knew that symbol from every unsolved mystery book I'd ever read. One letter started, "This is the Zodiac speaking. I am waiting in the shadows for the police to catch me, but they are too busy eating donuts." Same misspellings the real Zodiac used. Donuts. Paradise. I heard footsteps on the stairs. Heavy boots. Grandpa was home early. I shoved everything back, slammed the trunk, and crawled under the desk, heart hammering so loud I was sure he'd hear it. The door opened. The light clicked on. His boots stopped inches from my face. I could see the scuff marks, the dried mud shaped like California. Silence that lasted forever. Then a whisper. Not angry, almost amused. "You shouldn't be here, Jeremy." I squeezed my eyes shut, waiting for yelling, for punishment. Nothing. The light clicked off. The door closed. The padlock snapped shut outside. I waited an hour before I crept out. The next morning, Grandpa acted like nothing happened. He made pancakes shaped like smiley faces and told me I was his favorite grandson. He died 3 months later. Massive stroke in the shower. Grandma found him with his eyes still open, staring at the drain like he was watching something go down it. I never told anyone about the trunk. Until 17 years later, when the nightmares got so bad I couldn't close my eyes without seeing that circled crosshair burned on the inside of my eyelids. That's when I posted the video.
The first week after the video is chaos. CNN, Fox, Dr. Phil, everyone wants me. Reporters camp on Mom's lawn. My inbox overflows with death threats and marriage proposals in the same thread. A detective from Vallejo PD named Sarah Nguyen messages me privately. Sarah Nguyen: "Jeremy, some of what you showed lines up in ways that honestly scare me. Can we talk off the record?" We meet at a Denny's at 2 a.m. because that's the only time no one recognizes me under a hoodie. Sarah is maybe 35, sharp eyes, hair in a tight bun. She spreads grainy copies of Zodiac letters across the table like tarot cards. "Your grandfather's service weapon was a 9mm, same as the rounds recovered at Lake Herman Road. Ballistics from 1968 are degraded, but the lands and grooves, they're not inconsistent." I slide her the birthday card with Grandpa's handwriting. She compares it to the Zodiac's exorcist letter from 1974. Same pressure on the downstroke, same looped Ys. She looks up. This isn't proof, but it's enough to make people upstairs sweat. I say, "Reopen the case." She whispers, "Already in motion. But Jeremy, be careful. Whoever Zodiac was, he had friends, cops, people who buried things. Some of them are still alive." That night, I drive back to Grandma's old house, now empty, on the market. Mom gave me the key in case you want to say goodbye. I just want to see the study again. The moment I step inside, the air is wrong, thick, like breathing through wet wool. The padlock is gone.
The trunk sits open, empty. Every folder, every letter, gone. But on the desk, in fresh red ink that still smells coppery, someone has written, "Welcome home, Jeremy. The game begins again." Underneath, the circled crosshair drips like it's bleeding. I take a photo. My flash goes off. In the split-second burst of light, I swear I see him, Grandpa, standing in the corner, smiling exactly like the Lake Berryessa sketch. Then darkness swallows the room and every light in the house dies at once. I run. The next 3 months are a spiral. I move into the house because rent is free and because I'm stupid. Every night I set up cameras, Ring, GoPro, old VHS camcorder for that analog horror aesthetic my followers beg for. At first it's just cold spots, doors creaking, my name whispered at 3:33 a.m. exactly. Then the footage starts catching things. October 11th, anniversary of the Paul Stein murder. 3:17 a.m., the attic camera glitches. A tall figure in a dark hood steps into frame, stands motionless for 9 seconds, then walks straight through the closed door. The hood has the white symbol stitched on it. I upload the clip unedited. 40 million views in 48 hours. Comments: "This is the best ARG ever. Dude, you're going to die. That's not CGI. Look at the shadow physics." Detective Sarah watches the clip in her office, face going pale. "Jeremy," she says over the phone, "whatever you're doing, stop. We found something in the reopened files. Your grandfather's personnel jacket has pages missing. Someone tore them out in 1975, and there's a note in the margin in red ink. He enjoys it too much." I laugh, but it comes out hollow. "Sarah, he's in the house. He's proud of me." She's quiet for a long time. "Then get out." I don't. Because the truth is, part of me wants to meet him.
November 1st, 2024. I haven't slept in 4 days. I've decoded pieces of a new cipher that keeps appearing on the walls in what looks like ash. It spells, "Slaves in paradise. The stars align when blood remembers." Tonight the house is humming, literally humming, low 60 hertz tone that makes my teeth ache. I climb the attic stairs carrying Grandpa's old service flashlight and the .38 revolver he taught me to shoot when I was 12. The attic doors open for the first time in my life. Inside, the air is freezing. My breath fogs. In the center of the floor, someone has arranged every missing item from the trunk in a perfect circle. The letters, the folders, the original 1969 Zodiac hood made of black cloth with the white symbol hand-stitched. And in the middle of it all, Grandpa. Not a glitch, not a trick of light. He's translucent, edges flickering like bad film reel, but it's him. Same uniform he was buried in, same crooked grin. He speaks, and the voice comes from everywhere and nowhere. "You did it, boy. You made them remember." I raise the gun with shaking hands. "You killed them, all those people." He laughs, and it sounds like every police siren from 1969 playing at once. "I gave them eternity, names in books, faces on posters. You think death is the worst thing? No. Being forgotten, that's hell." He steps closer. The temperature drops 20 degrees. "You carry my blood. My words live in your mouth now. Every time someone says Zodiac, they say our name." I cock the hammer. "I'm turning everything over to the police, tomorrow." His smile widens, proud, almost tender. "You already did, Jeremy, the moment you pressed record." He reaches out. His hand passes through my chest, but it feels like ice water flooding my heart.
Images explode behind my eyes, flashes of the murders, but from his point of view. The rush, the power, the joy, and worse, the knowledge that a tiny part of me understands it. I scream and pull the trigger 5 times. The bullets pass through him and bury themselves in the attic wall. He leans in until his face is inches from mine. The circle is complete. The stars are yours now. Then he dissolves into static and smoke that smells like gunpowder and old newspaper. The circled crosshair brands itself onto the attic floor, burned into the wood, still glowing.
1 week later, I'm live on YouTube. Title: The Final Proof. Zodiac's Bloodline Ends Tonight. 1.2 million viewers. I sit in the attic. The burned symbol is visible behind me. My face is gaunt, eyes sunken. I hold up the original hood. Detective Nien is downstairs with a warrant. They're taking everything. The case reopens tomorrow. I pause. But there's something you need to know. I turn the camera to show the wall. Written in fresh red paint, still dripping, are the words, "This is the Zodiac speaking. I have returned in new skin." And underneath, in my own handwriting, though I have zero memory of writing it, 37 victims and counting. Love, Jeremy. The live chat explodes. I look straight into the lens. If you're watching this, run. The stream cuts to black. The last thing you hear is my laugh, except it isn't mine anymore. It's his. End of transmission. Question for you again. If the monster's blood is in your veins, when do you stop being the hunter and start being the thing that goes bump in the night? I still don't know. But the stars are aligned now, and somewhere out there, the next letter is already being written. Sweet dreams, Jeremy Hayes, or whatever's left of me.